British boxing history was made last night as the Eubanks and the Benns clashed again. It was Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, the rematch, just 7 months after their first fight. And Benn did get his revenge with a wider points decision. Michael Bridge was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for us. Michael, it didn't quite live up to the first fight, did it? Why not?
I think the first fight was a real battle between both. You know, Chris Eubank won in terms of the boxing ability. Conor Benn sort of went in there. He probably made a number of mistakes, wasn't disciplined, lost a lot of his discipline in the end. And he said that, and he's been saying that week after week. And discipline was the key word. I mean, I've had lucky enough to have seen Conor Benn in a few training sessions over the last few weeks, and that was the key word coming from trainer Tony Sims constantly was maintain your discipline. And whatever Conor Benn did, you know, he absolutely delivered from the start, really. I had him winning 11 out of the 12 rounds. Maybe the third round probably equal. But apart from that, and he could have got the knockdown he could have got the result in the 12th round. But in the end, it was a dominating performance. He dominated on the front foot, and no mistakes from Benn at all. And he'll move on now. And it was a fantastic night for him. A really tough night for so many reasons for Chris Eubank Jr. And decades of this rivalry, this Benn Eubank name, and now for the first time we see victory for the Benn family.
What about Chris Eubank Jr.? Came to the ring, accompanied by 50 Cent. Didn't seem to inspire him, though. He just looked really flat, Michael.
He should have come out to Tina Turner again, shouldn't he? Simply the best. You can't mess with the classics, can you? I'm not being funny, but
yeah. Broke, yeah?
Yeah, no, exactly. But no, I mean that was probably the best highlight of Chris Eubank Jr.'s night. But looking back on it from fight week, he's a very intelligent man, Chris Eubank Jr. And, you know, announcing that he's going to have twins, and he didn't want to talk about that publicly, but we talked about it off camera. He seems calm, and I really hope the people around him now advise him. He said he's been to hell and back. Now, we don't know what he actually means. Is it a private matter? Is it to do with the weight cutting? How tough that is. If it is that, you want people to say, you've been to hell and back, don't go back to hell again, because it took so much out of him. When is that much money? When is it too much money, you know?
And with that in mind, and at 1-1, do you think that we might not get the decider, if you like, because of that?
I think if Benn won on points last night and it was close, we would definitely get a trilogy. I don't think anyone would want to see a third fight now. I really don't. It was a comprehensive performance from Conor Benn. He wants to move on now to get world titles. The interesting thing for me now is he wants to move down, but he should really go for... I'm looking at him last night. I think he looked good at 160. We all talk about Chris Eubank Jr.'s issues with his weight. Yeah. We have to remember Conor Benn was moving up as well to 160, but he looked good at 160. And I know he wants to move back down to 147, but I feel like he'd lose a lot of his power. He looked a good 160 in there. Maybe if he moved down slightly, maybe to 154 at super welterweight, that might suit him a little bit more. But he will know. He's got a good team around him, a really, really good team around him. But in terms of a third fight, I think it's very unlikely. Look, I think Chris Eubank Jr. needs a year off, but that would make him 38 years of age. So for me, I can't see it. But for Benn, he's very, very ambitious, and he's got aspirations of the world title now. And I think we can hear from Benn on those world title aspirations.
I think for me, winning the WBC world title is heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind. Getting that WBC world title was the belt my dad won. It was the belt I would love to win. It's my dream. So for me to be one up on my dad with the Eubank-Benn rivalry and also win the WBC world title, it'll be some moment for me.
And how do you see that going?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard, of course, making 147. I've not made 147. I've made 152 a couple of years ago. I've not had to make championship weight 147 for a while. So, yeah, it's going to be challenging, but ultimately it's what we do, you know. But I won't be posting videos of me in a sauna blanket.
Obviously, it's tied now. Is there any appetite?
Done.
Is there any appetite whatsoever?
Done. I don't know how long I can make 147 for. So for me, I mean, listen, money always talks, doesn't it? But for me, for my personal reasons, how much money do you need? So for me, it's let me get that world title, and for me, that would be a box ticked.
OK, so as far as as Ben is concerned, he wants to crack on, really use the momentum that he's built now. But what about Chris Eubank Jr.? I mean, you know, he's 36 years of age. You mentioned that, you know, he's going to have twins in his, you know, and two young children now. So, I mean, is that him done? Do you sense that he is now moving towards that real twilight of his career?
Yeah, I mean, from the first round, you got the feeling straight away, wow, Ben looks good and something's not right with Chris Eubank Jr. And Chris Eubank Jr. said in round one he felt something not right. It takes a lot out of him. We've seen all this weight cutting. So you just wonder, would you want to go into it for a third time? There's no one out there right now who has any appetite looking for a third fight. It reminded me a little bit of when Chris Eubank Jr. fought James de Gale a few years ago, where James de Gale looked to be on the way out. But these two men have produced two great nights, sold out a stadium. How much? Talk about the money. You know, they've earned enough. They're financially settled. You know, so, and remember, you know, he's had to deal with so much as well, the fallout of his father. Then his father was around this time. Actually, if we're going to get another Eubank Benn, it'll be the fathers again, because they were going at each other again last night. So, I mean, and I don't know if we'll ever get the grandkids fighting each other. We'll never know. But I think in terms of Conor and Chris Eubank Jr., I think that should be it. But obviously, plenty went wrong for Chris Eubank Jr. again last night. And this is what he said to the journalists, which was really around 1 a.m.
This is not about me. This is about, this night's about Conor. He did what he needed to do to win. He fought a great fight, and I'm not here to talk about me. He's a tough man. He's a great fighter, and I respect him.
What did he do in the first round that made you know that you were mistaken?
You guys saw. You guys saw what I was in there tonight. Yeah, I thought that, you know, once those bright lights hit and that round went and, you know, I was in there, that, you know, I'd find something. And I tried. I tried hard, but it wasn't there. And Conor was strong, and he was fast, and he was tough. And, yeah, congratulations to him.
You said you went through hell, and you said it again here. Can you tell us what you meant by that?
No,
in specific?
Again, I said I'm not here to talk about anything like that. We're not taking away from what Conor did tonight.
Did you feel like you were anywhere near 100% tonight?
You guys saw what I did in the first fight. You guys can come to your conclusions after watching what just happened.
And I certainly think in reflection as well that maybe it was only 6 months since the last fight. Something wasn't there in Chris Eubank Jr. last night. Maybe his heart, and there's obviously an issue there as well. But credit to Chris Eubank Jr. Took nothing away from Conor Benn there. And bit of behind-the-scenes information, you know, seeing Conor Benn last night, wasn't jumping around, wasn't celebrating too much. He's been through a lot over the last few years, and he talks about the journey he's had with his mental health, with with the drugs accusations and everything like that. So I think what will happen now is that Chris Eubank Jr. will take a very, very long break, and Conor Benn will move down weight. Which weight, we will wait and see. But I think for Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., the war is over.